Instagram hashtags are straight up confusing. So many people will say to use them and that they're super powerful, but nobody really tells you how to use them effectively to actually gain from it. In this video, I'm gonna outline a quick and easy guide that you can implement to help use hashtags effectively on Instagram in 2020. Stick around to the end and I can guarantee you'll have a better idea of how to use hashtags the right way. Let's go. If you're new here, my name's Ben. I make weekly videos on podcasting, social media, and other online tools to help you turn your passion into business. So if you're interested in any of that, consider subscribing. I make Instagram videos all the time that you're not going to want to miss. So click subscribe and then go over and click the bell button. You'll be good. So hashtags on Instagram, so many people want to know how to use them, but don't have a clue. Everybody tells them you need to use them. It's a great way to grow, organic this, organic that, but nobody actually shows you a strategy to actually implement the right hashtags correctly to help grow your page. That's what I'm going to solve with this video. First, you need to do your hashtag research. And I'm sure every other hashtag video you've watched has told you to do that, but I'm gonna actually show you how I go about doing it and how you can do the same. So we're gonna hop in my phone right now and then hop into Instagram. So keep this in mind, when we're looking for hashtags, they should be specific to your page, your content, and your niche. So with that in mind, I'm sure there's already a few hashtags that have already sprung up and you're like, yes, these are the ones I'm gonna look for. These are the ones that are really, really popular in my niche. Chances are those are the very, very competitive hashtags. So that's a great place to start, but I'm gonna show you how you can narrow it down further to actually find success. So what we'll do is we'll start here, go to search, and then in search, it gives you the option to go to tags. So I know a very competitive hashtag in my niche is entrepreneur. So we'll type that in here, entrepreneur. What a tough word that is to spell, eh? There we go. I just said A, that's really Canadian. Okay, so entrepreneur, click that. And then in here, you see that it's got 57.4 million posts. So while that is very important to note, that used to be all the advice people would give on Instagram. They're like, okay, just pick ones with low competition and you'll rank in them and you're good to go. It's not that simple. Isn't that from, what's that movie? That's from The Notebook. It's not that simple.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
Okay, yes. So it isn't that simple. So what really matters is, yes, competition matters, but what actually matters in terms of ranking is the engagement velocity. So how do you find that? You need to then go look at the top 9 posts. Why the top 9? Because when you actually rank in a hashtag, truly ranking means you rank below the fold. So instantly when you go to hashtag entrepreneur, when you click that, you are shown 9 posts. Those are the top ranking 9 posts. That's above the fold. So without having to scroll, because so many users will come and they will only look at these 9 posts. So by ranking in those, you're gonna get the maximum amount of exposure. And any person that comes to here, if you have a very engaging piece of content, you have the opportunity for them to click yours, see what you're about, go to your page, and then follow you. That's how you're gonna grow your page, by people coming across your content and actually seeing it, enjoying it, following it, wanting more. Okay, so we can see right here, this entrepreneur's got 57.4 million posts. It's very competitive, but the engagement velocity is what matters, like I said. So how do you determine that? It's the amount of likes a post receives and the comments it receives. And typically it's in the first hour or two that matters the most. So as you can see right here, that's only got 4 comments, so that should give you some hope. But then see down here, it's got 295 comments and a bunch of different likes too. What you wanna do to find the actual velocity is you want to take the average of the top 9. There'll be some anomalies when you look at this. There'll be some with way less likes and less comments, but you want to take the average. Then once you have those totals, that's the engagement velocity. That number will tell you if you have an opportunity to rank in that or not. For anybody who thinks this is very difficult, I'll break it down for you very easily. So take the 9 posts, how many likes do they all receive? Divide it by 9. That's gonna give you the average, okay? Then do the same for comments, and then now you have the engagement velocity, the average amount of likes, the average amount of comments. That will give you a better idea as to if you can actually rank in that hashtag. It pays to understand and know your numbers. So look at your own content. Look at the amount of comments you typically receive as well as the amount of likes. If you are above the velocity in that hashtag, that gives you a very great opportunity to rank in that hashtag. So we started with entrepreneur. That's very likely a very competitive niche. But the awesome thing about Instagram is when you look at a hashtag, it also provides recommended or related hashtags. So I can then scroll through here. Let's look at business motivation. So this only has 200 52,000 posts, and very likely a lower engagement velocity as well. So then go through the numbers for the top 9 that are ranking, get that engagement velocity. You don't have to do the math every time. Typically, you can look at them and see the average number of likes and comments they're receiving. And that will give you an idea as to if you can rank in it or not. So then you can continue to do this to get more and more hashtags that you can actually use. I would spend some time doing this, starting to understand the hashtags within your niche. I would look at your competitors, get a ton of different ideas, look at what's ranking, and see the engagement velocity. I would document all of these hashtags and also beside it have the engagement velocity to give yourself a better idea as to if you can rank in them or not. So I would invest a few hours into this research, get a decent idea as to what hashtags matter in your niche, have a huge long list to give yourself a better idea as to what you could actually potentially use and experiment with down the line. The next step is you want to make sure that these hashtags are related to your niche and your page, yes, but you also want to make sure it's specific to the content that you're associating with it. So the specific post. The reason for that is because Instagram has built-in artificial intelligence that can detect content. So it knows exactly what's in the video or photo almost as much as a person watching it. It is crazy how far their AI has come. It's very similar to what Google has, and it can actually tell what's in the photo. So why that is important is because you might come across a hashtag that you could definitely rank in based on its engagement velocity, but if it's not related to the content, Instagram is smart enough to know that, and it won't rank you in that hashtag. So that's why it's important to relate the hashtag to your actual content, okay? So don't just be looking for the best opportunity to rank based on velocity. It also has to be related to your content. All right, so you've done your research, you have a ton of hashtags, you have a better idea as to what would work with your page, what is competitive, what's not competitive, and what you might actually use. The next step is to actually execute the utilization of these hashtags. So how you're gonna go about doing that is by performing the staircase method. It's what I call it. I've heard it called other things, but I call it the staircase method. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to look at the engagement velocity that you've now found through your research on specific hashtags to your content and your niche, and you're going to start off by choosing 5 to 7 hashtags that you know you can rank in. So you'll know you can rank in a hashtag if you typically receive more likes and comments. So if you know that your posts always get 200 likes within the first hour, and you see that the engagement velocity on a hashtag is about 150 likes, you're definitely going to rank in that hashtag if your content is related and you get more likes. So that hashtag would fall into the first category, the first step in the staircase, because you know you can rank in that. So you want to choose 5 to 7 hashtags that fall into that category and use them on your content. Again, these should be slam dunks. These are things that you're going to rank in. Then you're going to leverage the momentum that you've gained from ranking in these 5 to 7 hashtags. So again, you want to look at the engagement velocity for the hashtags, compare it to yours, and you want to find some that fall into your better performing posts. So say if you typically get 400 to 500 likes on a post, but some of them will get 700 or 800, this is where your middle tier should be. So you should look for hashtags that are in that the upper echelons of your post. So again, if typically you get 400 to 500 likes on a post, but on a few you'll get 700 or 800, then that's where your middle tier should be. Reason being is because you're gonna have your typical engagement, which is your 400 to 500 likes, but by ranking on these hashtags that you had in the first step, that increased velocity will likely bring it up to your higher performing posts. Then by doing that, you'll then also be able to rank in the medium competitive hashtags, the second stair. And then the third, which you might guess, is the very competitive hashtags, whereas if this went as great as possible, you might have a chance to rank in. So these are your super competitive hashtags. So for me, it might be entrepreneur, other ones that are very competitive and have higher engagement velocities that if everything goes right, you might rank on there. Goal being is if you climb the first step successfully and then the second step successfully again, you might have a chance to get to the third step. And if you do that, that is when you will rank on very competitive hashtags, potentially end up on the explore page and get a lot more engagement and eyeballs on your post that then may click through, see your content, and follow you. That's ultimately the goal, is to get to this top step, but it often isn't possible unless you get to the first and then the second, just like climbing a set of stairs. You want to throw a few lottery picks in there, again, 5 to 7, some that are even super, super competitive. You want them there just because in case everything goes right on this post, in case it blows up on the previous hashtags, you still want to have the opportunity to get into those super hyper competitive hashtags to take advantage of all that increased exposure. So that's the staircase method. Goes easy, medium, so you have a decent chance if things go well, and then super hard. So if things go perfect or very, very well, you can rank on there and actually start to get a lot of increased exposure. So it's about 5 to 7 that fall into each, and then I would throw 1 to 2 Hail Mary. So super high competitive, super high velocity. Again, if everything goes perfect, you might rank in there. So it's 5 to 7 easy, you know you're gonna rank. 5 to 7 medium, you could likely rank. 5 to 7 very hard, and then I'd put 1 to 2 Hail Marys that if everything goes perfect, you might be able to get into them, and they're super, super competitive. So this should bring you around 17, 18, 19 hashtags. You can use up to 30, but I found the most success using about 18 to 25 within that range. So that's what I would recommend to you. Obviously experiment with this. It's all experimentation, but 18 to 25 is what I have found most successful. And remember, you can't win if you don't play. So those few lottery picks, throw them out there. The next tip would be building off that is to experiment as much as possible and also document every experiment. You have the ability to look at your insights. So you want to go in and look at specific posts and see how they perform. So by going to the specific post and clicking view insights, it'll show you the reach. And it'll also show you the reach that came specifically from hashtags. So if you find out that a specific post did very, very well, you want to take note of that. You want to see which hashtags you used. So obviously the content that is there is of high value to the people that are seeking out that hashtag. So you want to take note of that and potentially use that hashtag again down the line if you're bringing consistent, valuable content. Again, why you want these to be super related to you and your content is because you want to attract the ideal follower. A follower is only good to you if they're going to stick around and actually engage with your content. By doing that, you'll benefit from them actually as a follower. They'll learn to like you, to know you, and to trust you, and they'll also help through their engagement to help you rank to find more people to again attract more ideal followers. So by having related hashtags and attracting the right people, it's going to help to grow your page organically and attract the right people, which is what Instagram and social media is all about. So if all that seemed like way too much work for you, or maybe too much math, I also have a tool recommendation that can help really streamline the process and make it a lot easier for you. It's called Flick. So Flick can help you find a bunch of different hashtags, and it also helps to expedite the process of seeing the competition and the engagement velocity right on their platform to help you make the right decision onto which hashtags to use. It can also help you find hashtags that you never would have come across on your own that could really help to grow your page. So if you're really serious about growing your page, or if you run numerous accounts, this is definitely a tool you want to check out and you may want to invest in. If you use the link in the description, you'll get a free week. And if you decide that it's worthwhile to you, then you might be something you want to invest in. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can use it so you can see if it's a tool that you might want to utilize. So let's hop into my screen. I'm going to walk you through how you can best use Flick. All right. So again, there'll be a link down in the description. So if you like what you see here, there'll be something in the description box, probably in the pinned comment too. So you can go ahead and check that out. So Flick is a hashtag research tool, and it also makes finding hashtags very, very easy. So here is what you'll see when you go into it. You can connect your account to it, which you can see right here. I've connected my Instagram at benlevin_. Go follow. And then we're going to start the research here. So you're going to click search hashtags. So I run a podcast. So for this example, let's say we're going to look for hashtags specific to podcasting. So let's start with podcast. We're going to click that up. What that's then going to do is it's going to populate and provide you some data that you can really look into to get a better idea as to if it's something you should use or not. So here's some hashtags that are related, but the real magic of Flick is the ability to add these filters. So you want to add a hashtag filter. All right, let's say we want to see, we're going to leave that alone. We're going to add a new filter here. So what I mentioned before about the engagement velocity, this is where you can streamline that process and only be shown hashtags that meet your specific requirements. Okay, so how you do this is you can add the filter, and it's not media count. So media count means just the level of competition within the hashtag, but like I said earlier, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is the engagement velocity, which you can search for with these filters. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use average likes as the parameter, and we're gonna do greater than. So what we're gonna use this for is, say you always receive 200 likes within the first few hours of posting something. You don't want hashtags that are way below that because you want to maximize the exposure that you're going to receive. So if you know you always get more than 200 likes on a post, we're going to start with, we don't want to see any that are below 100. Okay, so we're going to add that filter in. Then we can also use it for the other end, so the high end of the spectrum. So again, on average likes, but we want less than. So say if you typically receive 200 to 300 in the first few hours, but you've had some that have been like 600 or 700. So if everything went well, you might be able to compete for that 800 or 900 mark. So let's say we want nothing more than 900 likes, okay, for this specific example. Then by clicking apply, actually, before we do that, you can also just get Flick to do the work as well. If you don't want to look into this stuff and run the numbers for yourself, you can click activate suggested filters, and it's going to be all specific to your specific page and the engagement you receive on it. So that can streamline the whole process, and it's just Flick trying to help you out there too. So we're going to click apply with these filters, and we're going to get some hashtag examples. My Wi-Fi is really bad, so hopefully this isn't too painful. Okay, awesome. So it's populated some hashtags. So here, as you can see, it's going to be very specific to podcasting, but then you also have an option to go to related and then even less connected, which is similar. So it's going to be the same sort of people who maybe use hashtags with podcasting. They may have also used these related hashtags as well. So what you're looking for when you're looking at these is you want something with a low competition score. It means you're not competing against as many people, but you want a medium to high potential reach. This is because it's going to be very easy to rank in, and you're going to get the maximum amount of exposure out of it. Awesome thing about Flick is it also shows you the engagement velocity right on the software. So you can see the average likes that are ranking in this hashtag, the amount of posts that are made, and the average comments as well. So this can give you a better idea as to if this is a hashtag that you have a chance to rank in and if it's one that you should use. So say this is a hashtag that I like. It has low competition, medium potential reach, and I can rank within this hashtags. So this might be one of my medium hashtags. So I can click, boom, I can add it. Let's say I want to pick this one too. Again, this is just for hypothetical sake. You definitely want to put more time and thought into these, but I'm just throwing a bunch together just to give you an example. Podcast Junkie, all these. Then what you can do is you can actually add these to a collection. So what I said, super important to pay attention to things that work well. You can actually add to a collection to have it right on Flick to then use again later. So say if you found a lot of success with a certain group, you can save them and see if you want to use them later. So you could make a massive list of things that are related to your page, and then you can filter through them and not have to go searching for them every single time. So let's just say this is for Ben's collection. Create. So now whenever I come back into Flick, I'll be able to see these that I've saved. So you can see that this tool can be very helpful into finding hashtags, but also finding the right hashtags to use based on the parameters which I discussed earlier. So this can save you a lot of time and hassle and math, for those of you who hate math, by using this service. It also has an app as well, so you can do it straight on your phone. I think there's some limitations within the app, but they're always working to improve it. Another super cool point of note with Flick is that, say if you're a repost page, you can also look for viral posts for specific hashtags. So say if you're in a niche and you run a dog page, let's say, so you can look at hashtags you're trying to rank for, you can put them into the viral post finder, and you'll see all the content that is getting the most viral treatment within that hashtag. So that can give you the best idea as to what you want to repost, or give you inspiration as to content that is connecting with the people seeking out this hashtag. So that's super valuable, especially if you're a repost page or a niche page, because you can find content that you know will perform, or the type of content that you might want to emulate to find that same sort of success. So that's another super powerful tool. A super powerful tool. Yes. So like I said, you can group all your hashtags here. You can save them. You can go back to it later. It makes everything a lot easier, streamlines the process, and it also gives you a place to store them all so you don't have to write them down on your phone or write them on a piece of paper. It just really streamlines the process. So I recommend giving this tool a try. Like I said, you get a free week trial out of it if you use the link in my description. So go ahead and check that out. See if it's something you'll use. See if you find some success with it. If you do, extend the trial. If not, cancel it. No problem. You don't have to pay for it. First 7 days are free. So go ahead and give that a shot. No risk. If you're enjoying this video and you're learning something new, please drop the video a like. It helps me out a ton. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. So please take 2 seconds, drop the video a like. Thank you. If you're looking for ways to combat the drop in organic reach that we've all been experiencing on Instagram, watch the video in the card above, which you'll see right here, right now, to give you some ideas into how you can go about keeping your engagement up. I've also included a playlist down below of all my other Instagram videos. So if you're looking for some more inspiration, some tips and advice to how to crush it on Instagram and just be more informed, be sure to check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to drop the video a like, drop a comment down below. Those help me out so much. So please do it for me. Keep killing it, keep crushing it. I'll talk to you guys very soon. Go crush it on Instagram and go kill it in the hashtag game. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.